In darkness I lingered mid doubt and despair, since bondage long held me a captive to care. But Jesus delivered my soul from its chains. His precious blood cleansed me from sin's guilty stains. The world and its pleasures did tempt me to stray. I saw not the danger that lurked on the way. The toils closed around me, I knew no release. But Jesus has found me and given me his peace. Get right with God, his pardon is free. Get right with God, he's waiting for thee. Our Jesus is calling, oh come unto me. Take him, O sinner, and get right with God.
All right, so here I am working the soil. I was determined since 2 days ago to start working the ground and to start a raised bed and divide into sections with the leftover wood. And so I really appreciate this because I see, being it's my first time really gardening per se, I could really say I had a good workout. When I think of the 8 laws of health, namely exercise, air, and sunlight, I truly benefited from that yesterday and the day before. And I did work a good sweat, and I don't sweat easily. And so now I see why that this type of employment was the first employment that God gave to Adam, to our first parents. So I really see the benefit and I see the joy in it. It was a full day work. And when you realize and you do something with your own hands and you see the benefits or the reap of your work, it's very rewarding. My prayer is that as I start this garden, I will definitely keep you posted on the outcome. And like I said, if you're watching this video for the first time, I'm not an expert in gardening. It's my first time doing this. If anything, you can give me pointers. And if you do, feel free to comment below. I did get some advice from neighbors who are farmers. And so I will glean into whatever information that would be beneficial to the outcome of my crops. So it's worth it. And what's amazing, it's a good education platform for our children because they get to learn, they get to see. And my son couldn't help but to say, "Can I help you? Can I help you?" And he took the rake and he wanted to do something. I actually bought him a mini shovel and a mini garden kit for children. So he could practice with that, and it'd be a good practice and a good employment for him. Children can never be idle when you're in the country. There's always something to do. And one thing I appreciate about this is God has taught me so far is to use what is ever in your hand, and he will provide the resources, and just build by faith. Just go by faith. Use whatever is in your circumference and work towards that. And God wants us to be creative. He is the God of creation, and this is true recreation. And so the burrow that you see in the front portion of the yard, it was actually a furniture. And what I did was I had broke it with my feet, the inside part, so that space is open, and I use it as a garden bed. And I use the other pieces of wood, as you'll see later in the video. Right here is the divisions of the raised bed. And that's it. So as you can see, I used whatever I had used and put together a raised bed. I separate in different sections. I drill the holes so it's secured in place. Put the pegs in the bottom, and I had bought a net, and I have this hook so I could close back the net, the barrier, if you will, to keep the animals at bay. All right, we'll keep you posted. God bless. I was told as advice to use the Harlem non-organic seeds, and according to the guidelines, I could direct soil the lettuce, the radish, broccoli, beans, and peas. So we'll do this. I'm planting the beans. I just sowed them 18 inches apart, 3 inches apart, and by row 18 inches wide. So they have a lot of space. So we'll see what happens. I just transplanted the beets into the far left, as you see there, and the celery that you saw in the pots in the earlier video. And the lettuce I put in the top right hand corner, and we'll see what happens. I am one day at a time.
Get right with God, His pardon is free. Get right with God, He's waiting for thee. Our Jesus is